The old forest stood silent. Dark trees pressed close, branches tangled like claws. Sunlight struggled to reach the forest floor, painting strange shadows. People whispered about the woods. They said the trees whispered back. No one dared enter after dark. Strange noises echoed from within, rustling leaves, snapping twigs, a low, mournful howl. The whispering woods held its secrets close, shrouded in mist and fear. One bright summer afternoon, the sun was shining brightly, casting a warm glow over the suburban neighborhood. The air was filled with the sounds of laughter and the distant hum of lawnmowers. Three friends, Sam, Maya and Lucas, stood at the edge of the woods, their shadows stretching long in the afternoon sun. They were daring each other to enter the mysterious forest that loomed before them. Sam, the brave one, laughed and agreed without hesitation. He always loved a good adventure and wasn't afraid of the stories that surrounded the woods. Maya, on the other hand, was more cautious. She hesitated, her eyes scanning the dark, dense trees. But not wanting to be left behind, she took a deep breath and followed Sam. Only Lucas, the youngest of the trio, refused to step foot into the forest. His heart pounded in his chest as he stood at the edge, his feet rooted to the spot. "Don't go," Lucas begged, his voice trembling with fear. He had heard too many stories from his grandmother about the woods and the children who never returned. "Grandma says the woods steal children," he cried out, hoping to change their minds. His grandmother's tales of haunted woods and lost children echoed in his mind. Sam scoffed at Lucas's fears, waving them off as mere stories, but Maya couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that settled in her stomach. She glanced back at Lucas, her eyes filled with worry. They promised Lucas they would stay close to the edge and not venture too far in. With that promise, they cautiously stepped into the woods, the shadows swallowing them up. Lucas watched them disappear into the shadows, his heart heavy with dread. He wanted to call out to them, to beg them to come back, but his voice was caught in his throat. As the minutes ticked by and his friends didn't return, panic set in. Lucas turned and ran, his feet pounding against the ground as he raced to find help. He had to save his friends before it was too late. Twilight painted the sky in hues of orange and purple when the search party entered the woods. Lucas, clutching his grandmother's hand, pointed the way. The villagers whispered, their faces grim. They called out for Sam and Maya, their voices echoing through the silent trees. The woods didn't answer, or did they? A branch snapped, leaves rustled. Was it just the wind or something else? Fear, cold and damp, seeped into their hearts. Deeper and deeper they went, following the trail of breadcrumbs Lucas had scattered earlier. The woods grew darker, the air thick with the smell of damp earth and decaying leaves. Strange shapes seemed to move in the shadows. A twig snapped behind them. They whirled around, hearts pounding, but found nothing. Then a soft, mournful howl echoed through the trees, raising goosebumps on their skin. The villagers exchanged uneasy glances. Something wasn't right. Suddenly they stumbled upon a clearing. The air was thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves. The mist hung low, giving the place an otherworldly feel. In the center stood an ancient oak, its branches gnarled and twisted like the fingers of a witch. The tree seemed to have a life of its own, its bark etched with mysterious symbols that glowed faintly in the dim light. Beneath the oak sat Sam and Maya, their eyes wide with wonder, not fear. They had heard tales of this place, whispered among the villagers, but never believed them, until now. The tree's presence was both comforting and intimidating, a guardian of secrets long forgotten. As the villagers watched, a wispy light emanated from the tree, swirling around Sam and Maya like a gentle breeze. The light danced and twirled, casting a soft glow that illuminated the children's faces, revealing expressions of awe and curiosity. The light spoke, its voice a soft whisper, telling a tale of lost children and a lonely tree that longed for companionship. It recounted stories of ancient times when the forest was alive with laughter and joy, and how the tree had watched over generations, waiting for the day it would no longer be alone. The villagers listened, captivated by the enchanting tale, realizing that the woods held secrets far beyond their understanding. The bond between the children and the tree grew stronger with each word, forging a connection that would last a lifetime. The light explained that the woods weren't evil, merely protective. The strange noises, the eerie shadows were merely the forest guarding itself from those who meant harm. The villagers, their fear replaced by awe, listened intently. They realized their fear had blinded them to the true nature of the woods. It wasn't a place of evil, but a place of magic and wonder. With a final swirl, the light faded, leaving Sam and Maya unharmed. The villagers, humbled and enlightened, apologized to the forest for their fear and promised to respect its boundaries. As they left the woods, the first rays of dawn painted the sky in hues of gold and pink. They had faced their fear and emerged with a newfound appreciation for the magic that lay hidden in the world. From that day forward, the villagers no longer feared the Whispering Woods. They had learned a valuable lesson, one that would be passed down through generations. The woods were not just a place of shadows and whispers, but a living entity with a soul of its own. They treated it with respect, understanding that it was a place of both wonder and danger. The elders would often gather the young ones around the fire, recounting tales of the wood's ancient magic and the spirits that dwelled within. These stories were not meant to instill fear, but to teach reverence and caution. And sometimes, when the wind blew just right, they could almost hear the whispers of the trees, sharing their ancient secrets with those who knew how to listen. The villagers would pause in their daily tasks, closing their eyes to better hear the soft murmurs of the forest. It was said that those who truly listened could gain wisdom and insight from the trees. The woods, in turn, seemed to soften. The once foreboding atmosphere gave way to a more welcoming presence. The trees, with their gnarled branches and thick foliage, seemed to embrace the villagers, offering shelter and protection. The shadows remained, but they no longer held menace, only mystery. The villagers came to understand that the darkness was not something to be feared, but a part of the natural balance. It was in the interplay of light and shadow that the true beauty of the woods was revealed. The Whispering Woods, once a place of fear, became a symbol of the unknown, a place where the boundaries between the mundane and the magical blurred. It was a reminder that the world was full of wonders waiting to be discovered. A reminder that magic and wonder could be found in the most unexpected places. The villagers learned to approach the woods with an open heart and a curious mind, ready to uncover its secrets. All one had to do was listen. In the quiet moments, when the hustle and bustle of daily life faded away, the villagers would find solace in the whispers of the woods. It was in these moments of stillness that they felt most connected to the ancient spirit of the forest, a bond that would endure for generations to come.